It's the Love Guru Blaire, and I am live on Facebook, and we'll give it a second or two for some people to join. La la la, I'll sing to you while we're waiting for people to join. What would you like me to sing to you? I don't know. What song do we have? So today, I'm gonna just get started here. So welcome. My name is Blaire. I'm known as the Love Guru. I'm a spiritual teacher, an intuitive heart healer, a psychic, a medium, a dating and relationship expert, and a marriage and family therapist. I work with high-powered executives, entrepreneurs, and celebrities who've experienced career success, but their love life is a mess. So if you're sick and tired of being single and want to learn an easier, more natural flowing way of attracting the one, that's what I teach. It's called the spiritual way to attract the one. I think I just said that. I welcome, if you're just joining, please say hello and share where you're from so I can say hi to you. And it doesn't feel like such like a voyeuristic type of thing, but if you want to stay anonymous, you could do that too. It's totally fine. Okay, so I teach, I'll share that again. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing? Stephanie's from Scotland, right? We're saying hi from Scotland. What's up? So, okay, let me go back to my intro in case you're new to me. I work with high-powered executives, entrepreneurs, and celebrities who have experienced career success, but their love life is a mess. If you're sick and tired of being single and being frustrated with that whole process of looking through dating sites and dating apps, I teach you an easier, more natural way to attract the one. It's called the spiritual way to attract the one. This is information that Spirit has shared with me. It's a process that I went through several years ago, and you never look back. You don't have to do the things that most of society does. So that's what I teach you. I also work with those who are in a relationship and sad and confused. And I help you get to the root of your relationship issues so that you could heal them or gracefully move on, never having to experience the same pain or drama ever again. Okay, gotcha. So today we are going to talk about, as promised, we're going to talk about unavailable men or women, but we're going to specifically focus on men. This is not like a male bashing type of thing, but this is information that Spirit shared with me several weeks ago when I was preparing to do my in-person healing and manifestation workshop of how to stop attracting unavailable men and get the relationship that you truly desire. And this was information that Spirit had shared to me. I think I was like just waking up one day, and Spirit was like, oh, and this is like the history of like why men are unavailable. And in me sharing this with you, it's a very interesting, it sounds like a history class. Like it makes me think of like a history class. Hey, Regina. So it makes me think of a history class, but this is like an interesting history class. This is like the reason, well, I'll just leave it at that. I found it very interesting. So here's the deal. This is what Spirit, where do we want to start here? I'm asking Spirit, where do we want to start with this? So this is sort of a viewpoint. This is a viewpoint of like evolution, of like how we've evolved, how we've experienced, gotten to where we are in this unavailable, I would say like epidemic, because I think that a lot of men out there are quite unavailable, and this affects women too. And there's a reason for this. So back in the day, and we're talking about like, I don't know, what should we say? So they're bringing me back to like, they were sharing as far as with my ancestors, like coming over to Ellis Island. And so I don't know what year that is. I'm not a history person. That's why I thought this was like sort of interesting that this came through to me. But we're looking at like maybe people in like the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, like that sort of era. And when people came over to America, there's an experience of being in this like survival mode, that we need to like make it here. We need to make money. We need to like get it on and just get out there and establish ourselves and make sure that we're safe and there's security and we have those foundational elements of our survival intact. So what happens as far as like on an emotional level or like relationship level is that, okay, so they're telling me to pause and go back first. They want me to share a little bit of like, what is an unavailable man? What are like, there's a lot of signs, but we're going to share just like briefly here. Then we're going to loop back around. So unavailable guy is like somebody who doesn't really talk about their feelings, is working all the time, or busy with other things. Like maybe they're at the gym a lot, or like they're preoccupied with their friends, or like their work buddies or something. You might have a great time when you're with them, but then they're like distant for a while. It's sort of like how people talk about how like men need to go in the man cave. Like that's all unavailable signs. That he needs to like retreat and sort of get away from you and have time to himself, and like just sort of that distance put between you and him. And if you're, so like you might be married to an unavailable guy, you might be dating somebody, like, so say for example, you first meet somebody and it's a whole thing about how like a guy is supposed to wait like 3 days before he texts you or calls you to ask you out, you know, like those stupid rules. That's all stuff based around an unavailable man. It's playing games, it's not being available, it's not really it's wanting to go after the chase, and it's that whole experience. That's in a nutshell, and I'm generalizing, and again, it's not all men. Women are like this too. Some women, not all women are available also. So now we're going to go back around. So now that you have like some signs, okay, like do you have an experience with an unavailable man? Do you normally attract unavailable men? Maybe are you in a relationship with an unavailable man? And how is that going for you? Do you enjoy that experience of that you have moments of intimacy, but then there's like space in between? And also the question here, these are like, this is something to journal on too. Like, are you okay with being with somebody who's only available to you sometimes? And they might physically be there, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, they're not really there for you. So it could also be a situation that maybe you're in a relationship with a man who is not working all the time. He might come home after work, but he might be drinking some beers or whiskey or whatever on the couch after work, and he's not interacting with you. And again, this might be okay with you because you might have unavailable stuff going on within yourself, and maybe you're unavailable also. But in the event that you do want to have that closeness, maybe you want to have dinners together, you want to be talking about your day, you want to be talking about deeper stuff than your day, maybe you, you know, that kind of pillow talk, you know, that does not need to be just saved for before sex or after sex. That can be the intimacy that you have all along. So it depends on like what level. So this is like a journal question, okay? Something to think about, like what level of a relationship do you want? How close do you want to be to your partner? And does that question also sort of freak you out a little bit? Do you feel like you're going to be smothered if your partner is like maybe intense all the time, which is just maybe emotionally available? So these are like good questions to think about before you go into a relationship, and also if you are in a relationship, of like, what is that relationship that you truly want to have? And then we can work around that. Then I can help you get what you want. But the first step is like, what kind of closeness do I want? So now you have some idea of like what some of the signs of like an unavailable man are. And again, there's a whole slew of them, which I go into more details in my workshop, the How to Stop Attracting Unavailable Men and Get the Relationship That You Truly Desire. That already happened. It's going to come back around. So just like watch this space. If that's something that you're interested in, you can come join then. This is actually a good time for me to share, well, before we go loop around. If you are single and you are fed up and frustrated with being single, and you want to know a resource of where to get started with the information that I teach, you want the universe, spirit, God to be a partner in your journey of attracting the one, I have this audio and get started guide. It's just $111. It's a great place to get started. It's called How to Go from Working Hard to Easily Attracting the One. The link is in the description box. You could get that on my website. And also, if you're in a relationship and you're confused and you don't know what to do, and again, you want to get started on this journey of working with spirit to help heal your relationship, fix your relationship, and or get to the root of what the problem is so that you're not repeating these patterns, because these patterns repeat. So don't kid yourself by thinking, I'm going to get rid of this man or I'm going to get rid of this girl and I'm going to go find somebody new, because if you step out of that relationship, you're going to repeat the same pattern. You're just going around in a circle unless you actually heal these dynamics. So that product also is $111. It's a great place to get started. And what is that product called? Why you should almost always stay with a partner even though you might be miserable. Aha, very interesting, right? Different take on it. Okay, and it's different than therapy. I am trained as a marriage and family therapist. When I was having relationship problems, none of that shit was working for me. It was just aggravating me and agitating me even more using any of that couples therapy techniques or tools. And the thing that brought me relief was actually doing the healing work, bringing spirit in as a partner of helping me heal these issues from the root. So again, all that information's on my website, loveguru.net. Great place to get started. The end. Now, let's go back to this evolution thing. So again, we're looking at like the 20s, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, around that. Maybe not like 50s, but like 20s, 30s, 40s, when people came over from Ellis Island or whatever country that you're from, that your ancestors came in and then they felt this pressure to establish themselves, that they were in this survival mode, that they needed to make money. And that's what you hear a lot of people still talking about on the internet. I gotta hustle every day. Let's go hustle to make the money. Hold up, because that is just still in that survival mode. There is no evolution going on there. There's no higher consciousness, and there's no level of truth happening there. That is not truth. That is man-made construction as far as trying to survive, trying to establish yourself. So now when that comes to relationships, when we come from a line of, see, one relationship pattern is passed down from one generation to the next until maybe you break the chain, break the patterns that have been going on for generations and generations in your family line. That's what this healing work is all about. I know you might not be interested in that. I was never interested in like, oh, let me heal the chains of this, like this struggle in my family. But that's what happened when I was healing my relationship patterns, when I was looking at places where I was wounded and that things were hard, because things are supposed to be easy in our lives. That's how it works when you're working with spirit, when you're following spiritual truths. So what happened is, if you have a partnership, a married couple that has kids and are trying to survive, then work and making money is the priority. It's not about having an intimate heart-to-heart soul connection between you and your partner. Now, I'm not saying that your ancestors didn't have this close, intimate relationship with their husband or their wife. They might have, but not at the level that is available for us now. Okay? So what happens is they're going out looking, they're thinking about money. They're in this lower level, the root chakra of survival. The relationship intimacy is not a priority. It's not going to happen. So that gets passed down from generation to generation, because if you have unavailable parents that are unavailable to one another, no fault to their own, they're trying to survive, they're trying to make money, they're trying to keep food on the table, they're trying to keep a roof over their heads, their mindset is going to be like, how do I do that? Rather than, what am I feeling? Because what they're feeling is fucking terrified, right? They're feeling scared because they want to make it in this new country. They want to protect their family. Their adrenaline is pumping. They're in survival mode. They're not thriving. They're in survival mode. So they're not sharing their feelings because that's not safe. When you're in survival mode, not really safe to be sharing your feelings. You have to be focusing that energy on making the dough, right? Making money. That's where your energy is going. So if the parents are not connecting, sharing their emotions, they're not going to be emotionally available to their children to be saying, how do you feel? And let me share the emotions and, you know, what's going on and blah, blah, blah. So it's not going to be modeled for anybody. If you don't have it modeled for you, you go from one relationship to the next looking for the traits that your parents had. What did the traits that your parents had? Make money. Isn't this interesting? Give me like a thumbs up. Give me some love. Give me some hearts. Give me like a, yeah, Blaire, this is so interesting. When Spirit was sharing this with me, I was like, this is so interesting. So share the love. Let me have some hearts. I'm going to wait. I'm just going to wait it out. I'm not sharing anymore. I'm going to be withholding. I'm going to be passive aggressive. I'm not sharing anymore until I get some hearts. I want a thumbs up. I want some some love. I'm just going to wait. Wait. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. Anybody? Anybody? No. That's it? I see people watching, talking to you. Fine. All right. You want to play that game? So I'm going to continue on because I am not withholding and I'm not passive aggressive, or at least I'm working through those tendencies because we all have them. So what happens is that as we evolve, and that's what's happening now, as we evolve, we are stepping, there's this space available for us to be in higher consciousness. More and more of the population is stepping into a higher level of consciousness and realizing that we don't have to keep these patterns going on that our ancestors were following of just being focused, being in this cycle, this addiction, this scarcity mode of let me just focus on money. Let me just focus on survival. And this is a process, all right? So that's the reason why I have a workshop to go over this. That's why I work with people privately to work through this. So I'm sharing the information with you on this training, but it's a bigger process. You might be able to snap out of it. People have done that. People have had like amazing transformations from watching just like one of my videos or like listening to one of my getting one of my products or like having one session. People have had amazing awarenesses and then like transformations from that. But I would think that the most of the time you need assistance of going through the transition because it's a process, it's a journey to break out of that programming that you've had, that we've all had, of go and make money and go focus on that. And that is the most important thing. And it's not one or the other, it's all. But that is the reason why we have this experience of so many unavailable men and women focused on making the money and not really in tune with their emotions, their feelings, to be able to get close to a partner. Because if you're one of the signs also of like an unavailable man, I don't know if I shared this because I forgot what I'm just like focused on sharing what I'm supposed to be sharing here. So one of the things is that an unavailable man or a woman has problems expressing their feelings. Now, they're not doing this to withhold from you. I mean, maybe they are, But most of the time they're not. It's because they're not connected with their own emotions. They're not connected with their own feelings. They don't feel safe expressing their feelings. Is that you? Do you have trouble expressing your feelings to a partner? Do you think that a partner is supposed to know what you're feeling or thinking? Do you feel like if you share your true self with somebody that you're going to get rejected, that there's something unlikable about you? All good things to journal about. Yay, Blaire's giving us homework. And this is just side note. This is part of the work that I do, is that I help you go within and you get exercises from spirit on what to journal about, what to explore within you. So if you want to start that journey of going deeper within yourself and saying, well, how am I showing up in my relationships? How am I showing up in my life? If I have a problem expressing my emotions with how I'm feeling, with what I'm thinking, do you think you're going to attract a partner that is going to be comfortable sharing their feelings, their thoughts? No, that's not how it works. We attract a partner who mirrors our issues. So what's happening now is that we are in a place of evolution. We are in a place of higher consciousness. And when we are in the place of higher consciousness, then partnerships can get much deeper, more intimate. That means the phase of the unavailable man or the unavailable woman is dying. That is ending in our society as people raise in consciousness, as you and I and all of us do more and more of our healing work and heal these wounds from the past generations. Are you following this? Is this making sense? Can I get an amen? Can I get some feedback from you guys? Is this making sense to you? Right? If this is not making sense, ask questions and I can go over stuff. What are your questions about this? Putting you on the spot. Oh no. Oh no. Are you unavailable and you don't want to write? You're afraid to be seen? Let me hear what questions you have about what I taught, because then I can explain it better. I can explain it in a different way. I can answer what questions you have. Is this making sense to you? Are you excited about this information? Is it interesting to you? Or have you heard it before? Which I doubt. What do you guys have to say? I got a silent bunch. See, it's interesting because since I teach this information about healing through relationship issues, well, I attract people who have trouble expressing themselves, or trouble being seen, or feel uncomfortable being noticed. Let's put it that way. Is that you? Do you have trouble like sharing who you are? Do you feel more comfortable like hiding in the crevices of the internet and not engaging and not like really being present? So those are good things to think about if that's you. And I understand that because I've gone through phases of that and I've healed through phases of that, and I'm still working through phases of that as I step out more and more and share this work. And that's the process. That's the important thing. Wherever you are, just take the next step. So it might be like a big leap as far as like where you want to be, but as long as you like just make a step towards it. So maybe that means like you start sharing who you are with other people, or you start speaking up and again, sharing what your opinions are or what your thoughts are. Like, not being afraid of what people are going to say or if they might reject you. You know, it's interesting because Spirit's making me think about, like, you know, corporate America. And we go into these environments. I mean, that's not the world that I have been in. I've been working for myself since I was like 23. And, you know, now that I am getting out more, because I have been quite a hermit over the last several years, because I've had to do a lot of my own healing work. There was a lot of work that I was doing on myself, and that Spirit was taking me through. And, you know, that's what the spiritual journey is all about. I mean, there's times that you have to go within and you have to separate from society and from interacting from people and start looking at these patterns of how you are in your life, how you're creating your life, what you're experiencing, and then like redirecting that so that you can start getting the life that you want. So the healing process is really like a big time of like going within. So as I am now stepping out, I'm done with that, the majority of the work, the chunk of the work, and yes, the work still continues. But as I am done with that growth, that big growth spurt, because that was like 12 years, and it wasn't like I was in hermit mode for like 12 years, but it was varying degrees for sure. And now that I'm coming out more, I am meeting more and more people and working with more and more people that are in the corporate world. And that is an environment that it is very scary to share who you really are, because so this goes along with the whole unavailable man, unavailable woman, because that's that whole work mode, the survival. That when you're in a lot of these companies, you have to dress a certain way, you have to behave a certain way, you have to speak a certain way, you can or cannot share these certain opinions, you can or cannot share certain things on your Facebook or your social media, because who knows who's looking at that, because guess what, your job is in jeopardy, or possibly in jeopardy. So you have to hide who you are. But again, this goes into that evolution conversation, that we are stepping out of that space of survival. And if you're watching this, you're invited to step out of that space of survival. So one thing affects the others. It's sort of like, okay, well, I'm in corporate, or I'm in this environment, like I need to make money, so I need to do this X, Y, and Z. So it's like sort of like that, like what comes first, like the chicken or the egg. So I'm hiding who I am so that I can make money, so I could get out of survival. But then, is it because you're in survival that's why you're attracting the job that you are, that's not allowing you to really be who you are? It's interesting. So I think we're going to leave it at that for today. Let me see if Spirit wants me to share anything else related to any of this. And if you have any questions about anything with relationships, being unavailable, attracting unavailable men or not attracting unavailable men or women, healing anything related to this within yourself, feel free to drop me a line. I'm happy to answer them on any of these Facebook Lives. And as I shared, if you want to go deeper into like learning on how to work with Spirit, God, the universe in your love life, I have resources that are listed in the description box of how, if you want to learn how to easily and effortlessly attract the one by partnering with the universe. That's available for you for $111. Thank you for the love. Yay, we got responses. I feel so satisfied. No, but for real, thank you very much. And please share this video. So that is my work on how to easily attract the one. You can get that audio and the PDF guide on my website. And also if you're in a relationship and you're confused and you don't know if you should stay or you should go, again, learning how to work with Spirit on how to sort out these relationships. When you work with Spirit, you're working on a soul level. All right. And that's what I always tell people, you know, with therapy, because I go, well, Blaire, why don't you practice therapy? What, you know, what's the difference between what you do in therapy? Well, therapy is of the mind. You know, you're sitting on the couch and you're analyzing stuff, and you know what? That has great purpose for the time period. If you need to like figure things out and you need to sit with things and you want to like talk about stuff, and you know, I look at it a lot like a relationship that you have with like a friend, that they're sitting there and they're listening to you. You know what? I've been getting comments and I haven't been seeing them on my screen. So I'm so sorry, like if you guys wrote things, but I'm seeing like that there's comments on this thing, but it's not scrolling for me. So just like FYI, sorry about that. And like, I appreciate you for commenting. I'll read them afterwards. So the therapy serves a good purpose if you are just in talking mode. Sometimes we need somebody to like really listen to us, and we need to repeat stories over and over again. And again, I've been there. I've been in a space, you know, this is perfectly normal and natural that like you need to repeat your story if you've gone through some trauma and hard times. And I've been through that also. I've been with that when I was like looking for the one, and I've been through that when I was with one of my ones, with my twin flame, which was who I married, my first husband. It's so funny saying that. I never thought that I would have more than one husband, but there we go, yay. So there's that. And then I went through a lot of stuff with my family, a lot of family drama and trauma and chaos. And, you know, I'm going to be sharing about that information in the upcoming, I don't know, weeks, months. It's stewing. I'm not ready to share it just yet. I don't think it's time, but I'm sort of on standby with Spirit. We're going to see when Spirit wants me to start sharing that stuff. So when I went through all those things, I mean, it was a period that at certain times I needed to just share my frustrations, mainly with the family stuff and with the husband. I needed just people to listen to me, and that's therapy. But then people come to me when they're really ready to get into action, when you're ready to be proactive about it. Because the way that I do my work is like, I'm sharing spiritual principles. I'm sharing guidance from Spirit as far as like things for you to do. So it's all about doing. It's not so much about like, yes, we will talk about what's going on in your life, and yes, you'll get guidance. But I'm not a person that sits there with you while you're in this like victim mode, complaining mode, or just let me tell my story over and over again. That's not the space for me. Honestly, I don't have patience for it. I find it like it's very draining energy. And that's why I don't practice therapy, because that's what therapy's all about, is like you're just sitting there, and I'm too sensitive for that. As I had shared, I'm a psychic and a medium and an intuitive heart healer. And an intuitive heart healer is that I have the gift to open and heal your heart so you're able to attract the love and have the relationship and the life that you desire. And it's a form of emotional healing. It's my special healing modality. It's a form of emotional healing. And when I am listening to somebody, I am feeling your emotions. I'm picking up on them. And so therapy was just too much of like a rough ride for me to be sitting through that for an hour to be with somebody. So this work that I do, the heart healing work, is very proactive, and it's a way to bring Spirit involved in it. So you're moving out of your head, you're moving into your heart, you're getting realigned on a soul level as to the direction that Spirit wants you to go, that your soul wants you to go. Rather than being distracted with this or with that, or spending years in a relationship that's not working for you until, you know, shit hits the fan and you go around that several times until you get tired of it. It's a way to move forward in a proactive fashion. So thank you for watching this video. Please share it with your friends and family, whoever can benefit from this. I think that everybody can benefit from this. And I am available to work privately if you're interested in that. And all the information's at loveguru.net. Bye-bye.